Welcome viewers to another case study series podcast on Dlife channel. I'm your host Venkatesh. I'm a postgraduate from IIT Madras in electrical engineering. My career started with BHL and I retired from BHL in 2017. After which I made a deep dive into LCHF diet to take care of my health. During this journey, I heard Dr. Sarah Halberg's TED Talk, which really was the aha moment for me. And then when I took a deep dive down, within 1 month, I was off medications. So subsequently, during my journey, I also came across Dlife and Diet Doctor, etc. I am a proud member of Dlife from 2017, India's fastest growing community of top-of-the-line low-carb nutrition experts. Further, I have done some courses in Dlife, diploma for LCHF, and also some courses from Nutrition Network. And recently, myself, Shashi, and Poshini have also done a low-carb ketogenic diet for mental illness with the Dr. Georgia Heed. Further, if you want to know more information regarding my excellent journey through LCHF, you can view my YouTube video, which is a success story. Now, as far as the Dlife is concerned, Dlife was founded by Anup Singh, an engineer, a silver medalist from the distinguished IIT Roorkee. Anup founded Dlife in 2014. It was he who came up with the idea of 100 carbs per day, limit on a low-carb diet for Indians and others also. Anup can be called the pioneer of low-carb nutrition space in India, who changed the game of diabetes remission forever in the Indian context by defining what exactly a low-carb dietary intervention means. Anup was awarded the Icons of India Award, and Dlife is the only Indian low-carb platform to have received the award. Dlife has more than 2,000 plus combined Indian success stories of diabetes, hypertension, weight loss, fatty liver reversal, among other cases, and more than 1,000 Indian low-carb keto recipes that no platform in India has. Over years, Dlife has evolved into a complete low-carb platform that's the first of its kind in India and offers exhaustive courses on low-carb nutrition with a focus on metabolic disorders remission. Dlife is the only award-winning course that has changed the scene of diabetes and other metabolic disorders in India, putting these conditions into stable remission just through nutritional intervention. The work we do at Dlife is path-breaking in the Indian nutrition space, and Dlife's diploma course is now the most sought-after low-carb course in India that can put most metabolic diseases into stable remission only through dietary intervention. Along with Anup, Shashikant and Anukumar are the cornerstones of Dlife community, whom I have often fondly call them as doctors, because they are the real doctors healing people and to reclaim their life back. Today, I have a special guest with me, Satyajit Dash. Satyajit Dash, welcome, Satyajit. Satyajit is a low-carb nutritionist, has a master's degree from IIT-Mumbai in applied geoscience. He has worked in several industries, including oil, gas, and mining. He quit his corporate job to become a full-time LCHF nutrition coach. He has completed, like me, several courses with Nutrition Network. He has completed a Dlife nutrition course, and he has also done a sports nutrition course from US. He is based in Gurgaon and does online coaching on LCHF for all his clients, both across the country as well as abroad. I now invite Satyajit to tell more about himself, his journey in low carb, and the aha movement to switch to low carb to our audience. And what made you to leave a full-time corporate job and work as a nutrition advisor. Over to you, Satyajit.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Venkatesh. And thank you, Dlife, for giving this opportunity to me. To your question, 1996, straight out from IIT-Mumbai with a degree in hand in geoscience and immediately getting a job in hand. So you can imagine a young man coming with a job in hand from IIT. So it is a different ball game. You know, the attitude towards life is completely different. Absolutely no understanding, knowledge about nutrition. One incident I will tell you. So from that, you can imagine what was kind of my life. I used to drink less of water and more of this carbonated drink. Okay, so in a day, maybe I was drinking 2 liters of this Coke, Mirinda, 7-Up kind of thing, and less than a liter of water. So that was the kind of life. And then day used to start with Maggie, lunch like cafeteria, typical whatever Indian cafeterias you find, high carb, high carb, high carb, and all the junky things. And the night dinner is again like Maggie or bread or something like that. So that kind of life for 3 years. And then until got married. And then after marriage also, the same life, high carb life, eating outside or whatever cooked in at home at your own wish. So fast forward 2010, 11 maybe. From there for next 4 years, my blood reports were showing fatty liver grade 2. So it was showing, but I was not serious because I was I was at my peak of weight, like I was around 112 kilo at that point of time, pre-diabetic. Now I understand that it was pre-diabetic. At that point of time, I was not realizing I was having pre-diabetes also, because HbA1c was around 6.2 kind of thing. And nobody told me that you are a diabetic. 6.2 is a crazy thing to be, but I didn't have any idea about that. Also lipid were too high. I don't remember how much, but every time I used to go to my medical officer showing the annual health checkup to him, he used to say, "Sudhar jao, kya kar rahe ho? Lipid is so high. Take care of yourself. Look at your weight." So, but I hardly used to bother about that. But one surprising thing, he always used to point me out that you are having fatty liver, but nothing to worry. Indians are like that. Okay, we are susceptible for fatty livers, and he never, you pick the, never alerted me that fatty liver is a thing which you need to take care of it. Until 2014, the new medical doctor came and he said, it is your fatty liver grade 2 and you should be serious actually. Until then, my life philosophy was like, kamate kyun hai, khane ke liye, khao piyo, ash karo, ek hi zindagi hai, kind of life I was going through. But this new medical officer, 2014, he said, "Guy, you need to be serious because fatty liver grade 2 is not a good sign." Then he started discussing with me about my lifestyle, and at least he pinpointed few things. He said, quit sugar. He said, quit drinking so much of this Coke, Pepsi and all these things. Cut down on your sweet intake. And particularly at that point of time, I was overdoing with alcohol. So he said again, quit alcohol and all these things. So that is when, I don't know why, my obesity was not bothering me. My HbA1c was not bothering me. My lipid was not bothering me. But this particular one word, take care of your fatty liver, which is grade 2. I don't know how that struck to my mind. I started researching why this fatty liver grade 2 and why this happens and how to get rid of this. So while doing all this internet research, I encountered dietdoctor.com. Also, all our low carb fraternity, you all know how great website it is. So that is where I started all my research, and I encountered the beautiful world of low carb. That is where I learned about not only fatty liver, the real cause of fatty liver, insulin resistance, and insulin resistance, carbs, inflammation, all these things I learned. And as I kept on reading, I started implementing. I remember it is exactly January 2015 when I thought of taking a plunge into low carb, and I started implementing. And 8 months, miracle happened. So it is like from 112 to 85. I think even I had come down to 80 also. So that was my weight wise. Fatty liver grade 2 vanished, and my lipid parameters all came down to beautiful range. HbA1c dropped to around 5.4 and all these things. So that is when it is like an enlightenment for myself personally. And while all this transformation was going on, of course, in the office, everybody was shocking. What is this guy doing? Okay, he's not eating, or when he's eating butter paneer or chicken masala kind of thing, and he's doing dieting and all these things. So when they saw, they started discussing things with me. And yeah, I kept on sharing. So when the same people, some of them took it seriously and they started implementing, and at the same time, they also started getting result. So that also encouraged me. And few of my friends who were not in my city, they were in Hyderabad or Chennai. So I started guiding them over phone. And they also came out and came back and shared their success things. So that is when it gave me confidence that even I can guide people, I can coach people. And then at some point of time, I took gym very seriously, so because I had become very lean also. So thought of building some muscle mass. So I joined a gym. At the same time, I did this course, ISA sports nutrition certification. And that is something. But then when I seriously thought of helping people, coaching people, I thought I need to have a certification. So again, through Diet Doctor, I found this nutrition network. So at one go, I finished nutrition network, that certification for clinical practice, followed by there is this diabetes reversal, followed by advisor course. So all these things were happening. I think it was around 2015, I also encountered Dlife, where I registered myself in the forum, but somehow I was not visiting that frequently. Okay, another important thing happened. Initially, when I was helping people, it was predominantly for weight loss. But among those people, when they come back and told me that, you know, my blood sugar is also getting corrected, my blood pressure is getting corrected, my lipid is getting corrected, and with my own result, I was knowing these things are the thing, but I was not talking a lot about that because I did not have that much of confidence. But with all this, then diabetes reversal thing, visiting more often to Dlife, so slowly it gave me more confidence that I can take up diabetes reversal case, fatty liver reversal cases also. And of course, in 2022, I thought of, you know, when I was revisiting Dlife, I saw this Dlife diploma course, and without any second thought, I just enrolled for the certification thing. And another very important intention of joining Dlife is to be among the community, because alone you cannot sail through. And by that time, I was not knowing that so many people are doing so wonderful thing in this space in India, and I wanted to be part of that. So that is how Dlife happened. And you asked me one more thing, how this Euroka Moment happened or something like that. Mm-hmm. So yes, there was an overlapping of my own journey and then as a coach and this corporate thing. So it was like 2016 to 2019, I was in the corporate, but at the same time, I had taken a space as an office space where I was doing this nutrition consultation thing on Saturdays and Sundays. So people from Delhi, NCR, they used to come meet me. So that was going on on the weekend, maybe 2-3 people I used to meet and talk and guide them, coach them. Then it was quite good, actually. I was feeling very great when people, not only when the people were getting some result, and then you know, their family used to come to thank me. So it was a different feeling, actually. So then at some point of time, I thought this can be my second career option. And 2018, 2019 onwards, I thought of, you know, taking this as the main thing and quitting corporate jobs. So that finally happened in 2020. And yeah, this became my main profession.
Satyajit, why don't you kindly share your transformation pictures and the data that you have collected?
Yes, I will. I think I can share the screen.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So you can see these pictures.
Yes.
Right. So these were like 2015 pre, like you can say 2010 to 2015. This is how I used to look. Sorry. Then if I see my real transformation happened in 2015 and 2016 onwards, this is what I am in front of you. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is my very latest picture, these two. This was sometime in 18, 19 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Okay. And if I have to share my parameters, you can see my parameters here. Like this was in 2015, where my fasting glucose was 108, HbA1c 6.2. Mm-hmm. So these were my pre-transformation. Sorry. And those 8 to 9 months, or I would say 1 year transformation, physical transformation, correction in insulin, HbA1c, that is, you know, this is reflected in my blood parameters. So, yeah.
Okay, now can you continue with your case studies? Can we start with your case studies now?
Okay, sure. Definitely. So since then, you know, okay, before I show you this thing, let me also tell you, Up to 2022, I was more restricted to one-to-one coaching kind of thing in my nutrition clinic. But post-COVID, things have changed, and I have to move to the online thing, and I started webinars, seminars, and since then, I started group coaching. So I'll be telling little about the group coaching part later, but the very first case study that I am going to share, it is from that time. It was, one second. So, okay. So this case study is about a lady of 64-year-old. She is from the same city where I live, that is Gurgaon. And when she met me, she was a retired school teacher. The complaint were predominantly chronic fatigue, obesity, arthritis, and high inflammation. So these are the conditions with which she was struggling. And she came to me, at least I can help her to lose some weight, because she was also under doctor's treatment for her inflammation and arthritic condition and all these things. So yes, I helped her in terms of her nutrition, putting her on low carb thing. And she was a vegetarian and a high time, carb eater and kind of thing. So I had to do a lot of brainstorming with her, why she should quit certain things, sugar, jaggery, and all these things, adapt to things like, stevia and all. So a lot of brainstorming was behind this. And after 6 months, okay, first 6 months was like brainstorming and adaptation, slowly transitioning to a low carb, quitting all those high carb things, and mostly eating paneer kind of thing, and maybe almond flour, coconut flour based roti, paratha kind of thing. So it took some time, but post 6 months, she was very well within her, low carb thing. So when she had first met me, she was almost nearing to 100. It was like 98, 99 kg kind of thing. So 6 months with the diet, she could lose almost nearly 10 kilo. But after that, for her, and she also came back and she told me, I'm feeling amazing in terms of earlier, I was not able to stand for more than 15 years at a stretch due to the inflammation, fatigue gone, and she started feeling great. She can stand for hours together. And then I said, this is the right time you also introduce some strength training. Believe me, when I told her this for the first time, she started scolding me. What are you up to? Are you planning to break my legs or what? So she said, no, I don't know anything. I am into yoga and all these things, and I can walk and all these things. But how can I think of going to this thing, strength training? So with my little bit of expertise of sports nutrition, I explained her, and I kept on pushing her. And sometime in May or June 2019, she finally, joined a gym and under a gym trainer, and she connected her gym trainer with me. So I discussed her case with his trainer, and slowly she was put into various different strength training equipments in the gym. And after the joining gym, along with her low carb, so this she used to maintain, I mean, her trainer used to maintain, and also shared with me, because they had a body composition analysis machine. So she not only lost her weight in terms of losing fat, you can see at 64, 65 age, she could build some good lean muscle mass. So this is something really amazing thing. And after her program was over, like almost a year, she was with me. And at the end, she sent me a long email. So I have kind of tried to capture that content, where you can just highlighted few things like, so suffered from slip disc and osteoporosis, body was waking. After 1 year, 4 months following low carb lifestyle, exercise routine, quality of my life has improved 100-fold. Then she's saying, my osteoporosis has considerably reversed according to my age, feeling stronger than ever at 64. I've become younger by 30 years. That's one amazing, testimonial for me. Also lost 17 kilo, moving 90 to 73. Snoring habits are also improved. So she says 70% effort achieved by what you eat and 30% by exercise. So both complement each other. I was quite skeptical when Mr. Das told me to go to gym and start lifting weights. So finally, she's mentioning I am at my best physical and mental health. So this is something, a great case study, which I thought to share with people, at least people who are who are at the fence, who are looking at low carb, but they don't have that confidence or, some skeptical about low carb. Should I or should not I? So for those people, so such testimonials are like, I'm pretty sure it will help them to plunge into low carb, adapt low carb. So it is not about diabetes. It is not just about weight loss. It can, give a lot many other things in terms of health. So coming to the second case study, here is a young man, 38 years. He's a mechanical engineer working with some steel plant, I believe. So the journey was like, okay, in my coaching career, so there was a short stint I was experimenting with teleconsulting. So it was exactly from January 21 to May 21, again, during the COVID thing. So I started this teleconsulting so that I can reach people from remote area can reach me over phone call. So that was the intention. So during this time, sometime in January, maybe, so this gentleman somehow got my number and we spoke, and he was obese. He was well aware of low carb thing. Okay. And he was diabetic also, 12.9. And he himself was trying low carb on his own. So he was, so over phone, again, I kind of explained him LCHF protocols. And I also gave him a standard diet chart, suggested whenever possible, can have zero or carb, like keto diet kind of thing. And being a non-vegetarian, he can do that. And he adapted all these things. So that was in January 2021. And within 6 months or 7 months, maybe, so his HbA1c from 12.9 to 7.4, and weight came down from 118 to 80 kg. And this was his transformation. So this was completely based on the teleconsulting. But what he found himself is he has definitely lost some good amount of weight, but he also might have lost some good amount of muscles because, again, reluctancy to ramp up protein, ramp up fat and all these things, even though he had cut down his carbs part. So then he said, I want to do a proper guided low carb protocol with you. And that's how his second stint with me started. So June 2021 contacted me for a close handholding, wanted more motivation and mostly to understand the nuisance of low carb in terms of supplements. And the most important thing, he showed his desire to build some good lean muscle mass and further correct his blood sugar. So then things happened. And this was his initials. He had reached 7.4. So further with the guided coaching, he reached by December 21, 5 HbA1c, body weight. He had come down to 80, but his intention was to gain some good muscle mass. So he could gain muscle mass in next 5 to 6 months, 4 kg of muscle mass he added. And you can see from this fat, obese panda kind of person to a good masculine macho man. So this was another case study. I feel very proud of this guy, what he has achieved for himself. Then another gentleman, I don't have much data about them, but yes, I will share this also. These are typical diabetes case studies. So this gentleman is a businessman from Delhi, 39 years old. So not obese. He was quite a, that toffee kind of thin outside, fat inside, and high carb diet, carb heavy diet with HbA1c when he came to me, 12.4. Fasting insulin was 12. HOMA-IR 4.69, all chronic conditions. And vitamin D, look at the D. It was so alarmingly low, right? So that was somebody. Okay. I did not capture his journey also. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So this was his thing. But then I explained everything. I gave him this tracker. Okay. So this gentleman, one thing is he is coming from a family of doctors. Okay. Somebody in his family is very closely helping him. So I gave him this tracker and he started monitoring his blood sugar and he kept on sharing this thing with me. So this first week was typical high carb diet and all these things. So where he was like taking this average through his glucometer, whatever that was, he was having his medicines and typical high carb diet, it was 179. Next week onwards, after the consultation, he started low carb thing, quitting a typical rice and roti and all these things, being a non-vegetarian with vegetables and all these things. So slowly next week, the average came down to 127. Still here it is, medicine is going on and low carb. So with his doctor member in his family, he reduced his medicines by 50% here. and continued with low carb. And he kept on measuring his blood sugar. So average came down to 117. Next week, so no medication and low carb. So it came down to 109. So this is what I wanted to show, particularly to all who are still thinking of adapting low carb. So when we jump into a low carb things, so immediately it starts showing its reflection through the blood reports. I mean, blood sugar, this thing. And this was his final, the summary kind of thing. So started from 160 to 86 to 90. So you can see the insulin fasting came down. So all these things. Vitamin D, which was 11.07, ultimately came to 82 with the supplementation. Exercise and sun exposure was very important thing, which I told him, right? This is just one slide of another case study. So one gentleman again, his journey from, this is from June 23 till September 23. He's still doing a program with me. It is still continuing. This particular slide, the intention of showing this is the advantage of tracking blood sugar. So many people, they do it, but they don't record. So once we record things, so it is very easy to, see the trend, and that keeps you motivated to stay on track. So I think these are the case studies. Okay, one more thing just I wanted to share here is, in my group coaching program, which I do, apart from people who really need help, there are so many doctors, they are coming to my programs. Well, some for themselves, some to help others, some to understand actually what is this low carb is all about, maybe in a more close way, right? So here is an example, a doctor who is basically endocrinologist and a practicing diabetologist. So after doing the program, when I make this group program, I make a closed WhatsApp group among the participants. So there people share their things. So when the doctor participants put some good positive thing about their experience, it becomes like, it's an additional thing for me to motivate my other participants. So he's mentioning in one of the chat here, being a diabetologist, I see a lot of patients having diabetes with severe complications, spending 3,000, 18,000 rupees a month. And this is only on medications. So because I can understand the conversation, maybe somebody might have told, okay, LCHF things are very costly, supplements are costly, something like that. So to counter that, he is mentioning here. And the same doctor, in another instance, with the learnings from my program, so he shared with me, 65-year-old lady, my patient, diabetes since 10 years, HbA1c level brought down to 5.4 and is only in metformin once, which I will be stopping soon. So thanks for all the knowledge. And year back, it was 11.2. So when I get testimonials from doctors like this, it really, it says that I am in the right track. More doctors kept on sharing their experience here. Here is a doctor who is an MD radiologist and another doctor MBBS gynecologist. So this kind of testimonials actually helps me to boost my confidence. Yeah.
Satyajit, actually, you have been coaching both on the personal level as well as on group coaching. So what do you think are the benefits of doing group coaching versus the personal coaching? And can you briefly share how do you go about doing this group coaching?
Right. So yes, so my initial days were like personal coaching, and that too physical. But later part, again, I switched to online teleconsulting for some time, then later on Zoom and video call, before I really switched to 100% group coaching. So when I see the difference, I found personally, group coaching is much better in terms of getting results. Because when I was doing personal coaching or individual sessions, when I was doing, many people, after taking 2 or 3 consultations, they don't come back. They don't share their progress. Certain amount of level of result they found, and they think, okay, why should go every time and pay to this person? People who come and individual consultation fees with they pay. So after 2-3 consultations, they just don't come and they don't share their progress. But when I am in this group coaching I have started, which is a predefined, initially I used to do it a 3 months coaching, then 3 months plus 1 month support, then it followed by 3 months plus 2 months support, and right now I am have adapted a model of 3-month coaching plus 3-month support. So here what is happening, when I take a participant in my group coaching, I take their blood parameters. So after 3 months, I take another blood parameters, and at the end of 6 months, I take another blood parameters. So I have 3 sets of data to prove them, see the kind of effort you have put in terms of low carb and the kind of result you are getting. So it is in front of you. What you have done, your result is showing here. Okay. So at least I have a grip on their progress in a group coaching thing. And another thing is, when we are doing in group coaching, I do a WhatsApp group and I keep what people ask, I reply to them. And every time any questions come, I always back up my reply with a article link or maybe some research link. So there are 5% or out of say 20 participants in that group, maybe 4, 5 or 6 people are very highly active in terms of asking questions. There are so many who are silent participants, but those participants also get benefited when I reply to each and every questions. But out of those silent participants, there are so many intellect people, maybe some professors or lecturers or somebody who is good at reading things. They again come back with few more research, few more videos. So it is a positive discussion moved in a very positive directions, and it has a positive impact on all the participants. So this is a very good thing I have found in group coaching. So I have started loving more of group coaching rather than individual coaching.
Mm-hmm. How do you motivate your clients basically to change this lifestyle? Because the mindset has to change, isn't it? So how do we go about the behavioral change?
Absolutely. I think taking what this thing has discussed by Yogesh in one of his podcast, and then yesterday Sindhu's podcast, motivation, and that is very, very important. And we can motivate, that is my understanding, only when I talk initially to initiate the talk based on the pain point of that particular individual. So in my case right now, what I do is, before I start a group coaching program, I started with a workshop. I call it workshop, 2 days workshop. So where some 200, 250, 300 people register, and then they do attend that. And in that workshop, I give a very broad level knowledge about, before talking about low carb, I tell them about the relationship of what is insulin resistance, how metabolic conditions are related to insulin, inflammation, and where from this insulin resistance is, why it is happening. So the connections between carb, glucose, insulin, fat, obesity. So all these things, when I discuss in a very broad level, 50, 60, 70% of the participants, they get the thing. And today, most of the people are intelligent. With the internet available 24/7, they are more aware of the things. Okay. And the moment I give some knowledge, they get some knowledge, they definitely Google and try to read more or watch videos. So at least they know here is someone who is talking on some line, and they can correlate their own problem when they listen to the content of the workshop actually. And then once they get convinced, so they come to me when they sign up for the program, and then I sit with them in all the people who sign up, one-to-one sessions, I sit to discuss their thing. And when the discussion goes in the same line of the pain point of that particular person, whether it is fatty liver, whether it is obesity, whether it is diabetes or cholesterol, so then it becomes very easy for them to grasp when I take them towards the line of insulin resistance or inflammation or micronutrient deficiency. So it becomes easy actually. And then even if I tell them this is a myth and you are not supposed to do it, so they somehow, by that time, they are into that grip actually.
Totally, how many clients have you actually coached so far?
Well,
both on the personal level as well as group coaching, and how many have really succeeded in continuing their path?
Okay. So how many has succeeded for their path? That's, I really don't know, because, until they are with me till the end of that 6 months, yes, they are all good. After that, because many have come back to me after 2 years, 3 years. So after achieving the success, they have lost, and then they have off tracked, and that's how they come back to me. So that has happened. Many has never come back. And there are so many who are still in touch, and they keep on thanking me. So the path you had put me, I am still able to continue. So these things are coming back to how many I have coached individual level. I really don't know, but definitely it is nearly 1,000. Okay. And coming back to the group coaching, so my groups are like initial days, it used to be 8, 10, 12, 13. But since it's been 3 years now, I launch one course every month. So that way it is my 38th batch I had started last week. So it is like, and these days my batches are like 25 to 30 people. Oh, it has grown up, So average, if I consider 20 people per batch, so 35 batch. So if we multiply, so the number will come. So success rate, I would say 75% success rate is there in the group coaching. Individual coaching, as I said, there is a demerit. I really don't know. They never come back.
That is really fantastic. Yeah. So actually, basically, there are so many myths regarding nutrition, actually, which is going through all the people. How do you take care of this? How do you educate them so that whatever you see, like cholesterol is the culprit for heart disease, etc., is going on everywhere. So how do you educate and make the people understand?
So yes. So basically, before so all the researches or all the videos that we all have seen, all the low carb fraternity people. So if you see, initially we also had the same dilemma. Is it correct? Because that is how we are grown up.
Correct.
Listening that.
Correct.
Only after seeing things, reading things, and all these things, our conviction started changing. Listening to all those doctors, Nadir Ali, and all those biggies are in the field. So that's how we started researching, and that is how our conviction changed, and we adapted things. So same with people also. So they need some spoon feeding. No, this is not, and then give them some links to read, give them some videos to watch. So as they watch from the experts, their belief system also improves. If I have to give you an example, very recently, I will not take the name, but this lady is a head of the department, is in one of the department in AIMS Patna. Okay, so you can imagine where from she is coming. But in the workshop she attended, and she started, the conversation happened. She said, how you can say this like this? Cholesterol, you are saying eat 6 eggs with the yolk. We have never heard this, all these things. So I didn't argue with her. I said, okay, ma'am, I will send you some links. Please watch them, and then let us have a offline conversation. So because she is learned person, she understood those links and the science behind that. Okay. And after that, she said, thanks for sharing all those links. Yeah.
And you were mentioning about the doctors that are there on your course, actually. So, so most of these doctors, they are coming to get more knowledge on this, or what exactly is the reason they are coming actually for coaching on the LCHF?
So this is actually a very surprising thing for me also, because they mainly come to my workshops, and my workshops basically these days, I promote it through digital marketing like Facebook and Instagram and all. So it is popping up everywhere in the India. So people see that. And I'm pretty sure all those doctors who are coming, they have heard of low carb nutrition somewhere or the other. Maybe some have already understood it, some, and they just want to see what is the version of this particular guy. Let us hear him out. And some are still in the, I always say this, some people are always at the fence. They listen, but somehow they are not convinced. Pata nahi,
okay,
sahi hai ya kya hai? So whether we should take it or not. So this kind of, so either the doctor is fully convinced, this is good, and let us hear him out, his version, or he is at a, suspicion, or let us see what it is. So this kind of thing. So I am seeing a lot of doctors, at least I would say 10 to 15 doctors in every workshop. So when I say doctor, they can be homeopath, they can naturopath, Ayurveda, and MBBS, maybe radiologist, maybe dental, and either the doctor himself is suffering from any metabolic issues. Maybe he wants to help somebody else, or some just come for the knowledge check. Okay. So then I do discuss with them in the workshop, in the Q&A sessions. So there also they ask really intelligent questions, because definitely when it comes to the body physiology, hormones and all, their understanding is much better than a normal human being, isn't it? So they do really ask good questions, and if they are convinced, they do sign up for my program. So in my program, again, I have two things. One is called treatment program, where I do help that particular person along with the coaching thing to overcome his conditions in terms of a background one-to-one sessions, one-to-one conversations and all these things. And there is something called educational plan. Educational plan, you just come, sit in my Zoom sessions, live sessions, and interact with me at the end. And that's it. I'm not going to help you. Learn yourself and do it yourself kind of thing. So I am finding more doctors in that space. But having said that, there are also doctors who have signed up for my program. Either they're obese, either they are having high glucose. So for that also. Yeah.
Any other message for the audience, Satyajit?
Okay. So message is simple, I would say first for the people, again, who are sitting at the fence. So all the people who are in low carb, they know. They are already understood the power of low carb, and they have adapted, and they are reaping the benefit. But all the people who are still thinking, looking at low carb from the distance and just should I or should not I, thinking that. So I always say, unless until you get into the water, you will never learn swimming. So jump into low carb and adapt it, and you will get to see result within few weeks or maybe few months. Unless until you don't jump, you will not. And of course, to the coaches, particularly, all of us in the Dlife are coaches. So for them, as we can keep it as simple as possible, and particularly while explaining to our clients, again, I will quote Sindhu was mentioning yesterday, we don't need to give them the funda or the science straightforward. This is insulin, this is why this is happening, eat this, eat that. You don't have to. So discuss their case first, listen to them. The most important thing is listen to them and understand their pain point and take them to the right place, insulin resistance, why they should be considering to low carb through their pain point. So that will be more easy for them to adapt.
Okay. Oh, can we have some questions from the audience, please, now? Anybody is interested to ask questions? Yogesh, you can unmute.
Thank you, sir. So wonderful session. Thanks for explaining, Satyajit. We were definitely looking forward to this session as such, because something that you're doing is really very unique in this space, the group coaching, right? So I have one question, and which may sound a little trivial, but like you mentioned, and I always probably look at it from an individual response and accordingly navigating through the treatment, right? So in your group support sessions, have you ever come across situations, or do you usually come across situations when, let's say, while you have explained them doing certain things in a certain way, let's say whatever pertinent towards low carb, the responses from these people, their bodies are different, and then it probably leads to a bit of conflict during that session, that one person is saying, no, I mean, I probably haven't seen that kind of a reflection. The other person has already gotten a ratification of that. So anything on those lines that you come across, and then if yes, then how you basically navigate through that situation? Thanks.
This particular thing happens particularly for participants who are into weight loss, fat loss. Why his weight loss is more, why not mine? Okay, right. These things, particularly ladies, because
absolutely,
and particularly when ladies, weight loss happens slowly, no doubt about that, and gents, it is fast. They get result faster. So this is one complaint I do get, and then I had to explain them, bio individuality. That's more important, bio individuality, and then how a female body's hormonal things and male body's hormonal things are working. So that is something. So I always tell them, female body is tackling with two hormones, insulin and estrogen, whereas male is fighting it against insulin only. So mostly it is for that. And then, of course, not complain as such, but yes, some people get disappointed when they see somebody's HbA1c is going very fast. Within 6 months, his HbA1c dropped 3, 4, 5 points. But in my case, it is not happening. But then I had to take him offline and I need to understand why this is not happening. Some people are night shift job करने वाले हैं. Some people are stressed. They are not able to tackle stress properly, sleep properly. Junk food हो जाता है.
Right.
So I need to explain them, taking them separately.
Yeah. So thanks for that. I mean, I just thought of like I was a bit curious, and then I was expecting this to be happening. So thanks for the explanation. Wonderful. All the best, Satyajit.
Thank you.
Priyanka, you can unmute and start your question.
Yes. Hi, Satyajit. Hi, Venkatesh. Very wonderful podcast. I think, Satyajit, you really packed a lot, for us to digest. I think I'll be watching it again to see, how your journey, and then you've taken so many people on this journey, which is quite commendable. I think I have one or two specific questions. One is, towards the end, you mentioned that the pain point, that I try to understand the pain point. So do you have like a specific process to understand the pain point? And I'll just finish the question, then you can answer because it's all related. So one is like, do you have a specific process to, or it is like through the journey that you try to understand? And do you fill forms, etc.? And second is that, have you come across, some common pain points which people have, like some you mentioned, like eating junk food, etc., which are very common, but are there any specific? And one question which I specifically have is with the telemarketing case that you talked about, because he's in small town, right? So I'm also like right now working with someone in small town. So I would like to understand, a little bit more in terms of what were his specific pain points, because, in the city, we understand because we are also living in cities, right? So we understand their pain points, but someone is in a different cultural context. So how, if you could just elaborate a little bit more on that case, I would, it would be very good for me to know.
So coming to your first question, how I get the information and all these things. Yes, when someone sign up a program with me, I do share a Word document file with some 20 odd questions. Okay. And I ask them, it's a free filling form. Like there is no pointer, nothing. As against each questions, as maximum as you can share with me. So that will help me. So that is the very first thing. Then I definitely go through it and I put it my comments, typing each and everything based on whatever I think. I just send it to that particular person. I say, go through it. First, you go through it. It is like a broad level advisory on broad level lifestyle changes, attitude change. Because when I say, what is the cooking medium at your home? So they said, okay, refined oil, this oil, or maybe cold pressed oil, or somebody says we use ghee sometimes and all this thing. So then I just take them out completely. I advise is only ghee and coconut oil, nothing. Oh, salad, only olive oil. Remaining all the seed oil, cold pressed oil, refined oil has to be completely out. Okay, now obviously this will put some query, curiosity, why this? And that person will, when I will talk and ask, why not? So I cannot put everything on this thing. I keep that some question mark in his or her mind so that he can ask me when we will have a one-to-one. Okay. So one-to-one, depending upon the city, depending upon the place, it can be, mostly people prefer to have in Zoom, but some people also prefer to have in phone call. So whatever it is, I prefer Zoom actually, so that I can record and give it to her or him, so he can see it later also. So that is how. So I know what are the questions that is going to come to me, because I had answered and I know that. So whatever questions comes, then I explain. And even the one person has signed it up, I ask that person, whether it is male or female, bring all your family member to the Zoom session.
Okay.
Because the very first question is, okay, you have advised this to me, particularly if she is a lady. So she will ask, क्या मुझे सबके लिए अलग-अलग खाना बनाना है? How can I manage that? मैं अब उनको बोलता हूँ, if I have advised something not to eat, which is damaging for you, it is also damaging for your family member.
Right.
So if you can eat good food, why can't you serve the same good food to your family members, your kids? So then it becomes, so उनको लगता है कि मैंने एक का पैसा दिया, 5 लोगों का एडवाइस मुझे मिल रहा है, so they are happy.
Right.
अब मुझे भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, मैं एक इंसान को एडवाइस दे रहा हूँ, उसका फैमिली का 5 लोगों को दे रहा हूँ, मेरे लिए तो जो मेरे को देना है वो तो दे ही रहा हूँ. So absorb करने वाला एक इंसान है या 5 इंसान है, it's up to him or her. So this is how it works. It works.
Right. Thank you. And anything specific about the small town person?
Well, small town में हमेशा होता है कि सर आप घी की बात कर रहे हो, हमारा बजट से बाहर है. आप वेजिटेबल्स में वो सारे वेजिटेबल्स बोलते हो. मैं बोला देखो वेजिटेबल्स में मैं कोई मैंडेट नहीं करूँ कि आपको ब्रोकली खाना है या लेट्यूस खाना है या आपको एवोकाडो खाना है. इफ यू कैन, गुड फॉर यू. इफ यू कैन, व्हाटएवर इज अवेलेबल ईट, डजंट मैटर. ओके, सो दैट इज ऑल. बट हाँ, घी के लिए मैं उनको यही चीज बोलता हूँ, यू नो, जब कॉस्ट की बात आता है तो कपल ऑफ मेरा स्टैंडर्ड डायलॉग होता है, योर हेल्थ इज ऑल्सो कॉस्टली. You spend lot of money when you go to hospital, go to doctor and all these things. So if you can prevent yourself spending money on that part, invest it on your body. That's more important. Almond flour में रोटी बनाना, कोकोनट बनाना, बोले कब तक हम जिंदगी चलेगा. मैं बोला देखो खर्चा करो, अभी क्योर कर लो. So that is how.
Okay. Thank you.
थोड़ा टाइम लगता है, थोड़ा यहाँ पे खेलना पड़ता है बहुत.
Right. Thank you.
Welcome.
Harsh, you can ask your question.
This was an amazing conversation. Yeah, you speak so brilliantly, so confidently. I really enjoyed it, specifically because you provided a lot of data points and you're also tracking people's progress, you know, really giving them as well as yourself the sort of the confidence that you're able to do this, that you're able to bring out results. So I'm really thrilled with that. Again, like I said, I'll share what I've taken down. As such, I mean, you have a fantastic mindset, you know, even when you're answering these questions, you're adapting the situations of people and making it very specific to their circumstances, which is actually beautiful. Because like you said, कि अगर किसी को diabetes है या blood pressure है, if you talk about something else, they will not listen to you, you know, they will not hear you. So I really like that concept of first take the specific pain point of that person and then based on that drive your conversation or your counseling. And the last point, I mean, when you were explaining to Priyanka, that give a lot more value to people compared to how much they are paying you. I think that in our space is going to be the driver, right? At the end of the day, information is not lacking, right? People can Google. We are not competing against Google. We are competing against making people change their minds. And, you know, the way you explained, it's actually wonderful. And I just wanted to say thank you.
Okay, now let's go to the next question by Siddesh.
Hey Satyajit, wonderful session. Yeah, all the case studies were unique and different and interesting. So I have one question related to the first case study about that teacher. Yeah, I mean, I found it very interesting. I think many people will also relate. She lost so much of weight and her strength, stamina, everything improved. So I had one particular question on the medications part. As you mentioned, she was also suffering from arthritis, right? So were there any improvements in terms of taking the medications, or medications were totally taken off, or what was it like before and after the program?
Okay, so very interesting thing I will share with you. After her 1.5 years of program with me, once I got a call from her and she said, please speak to my doctor. With the doctor with whom she was under medication and treatment for her arthritis for last 10 or 12 years. And this doctor is asking me, what did you do with her? I said, absolutely nothing. I said, absolutely nothing. I just helped her body to she has to lose weight. That is one pain area. So in the process, what she has achieved is she could counter inflammation. And as you being a doctor, you know, by that time I had also done a lot of research why arthritis happens. And I also understood that inflammatory things are flare up karta hai arthritis mein, apart from arthritis being an autoimmune condition. So at least I could help her to overcome inflammation, and that also reduced her pain, fatigue. So that is what I told the doctor. And I said, from the medication part, I am not nowhere. So it is you who can help her. And so that is how doctor said, yes, her medications has reduced to 30%. And yes, she cannot, unless until she is not addressing her her autoimmune part, which at that point of time, I did not have any clue about autoimmune. It is only in 2023, I am still learning, and I am planning to do a course myself on functional medicine and autoimmunity. So I just pointed her towards functional doctors. So you go and talk if you wish to overcome your autoimmune part. But here is your doctor who will help you to reduce your medications, and he has already helped you. So that was, so medication almost 30%, it has come down to 30% what she was taking earlier.
Yeah, that was great.
Okay, are there any more questions? Not, I would like to thank Satyajit for presenting his case studies, and we can also expect many more similar presentations to follow in the coming weekends from dlife.in. And I would also like to proudly inform the viewers that we are having the first virtual low-carb conference from India from October 27th to 29th. There will be more than 30 doctors from more than 15 countries all around the world for the conference, including 4 low-carb organizations. This conference is free, and kindly register and benefit. All of you can benefit from the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Venkatesh ji, for such a lovely hosting. And thanks Dlife, thanks Arunji, thanks Anupji and Shashiji for making this wonderful platform for all of us. Thank you so much for all the audience.